Hello there, I'm Marco, co-owner and managing director of PDM. In my career, over past 3 years, I've driven more than £50 million for TikTok Shop brands in both USA and UK. In the next 15 minutes, I will be walking you through the whole process of how to get your TikTok Shop live on the platform, and then also as a next step, what follows right after you're actually live and how to get to a point where you're receiving your first sale. So without further ado, let's dive straight to the checklist. So this is a checklist that PDM uses for all of our clients, and as a part of this video, we will be giving away this checklist for free if you click on the link into the description. So this checklist is divided into 7 different phases: the pre-flight prep, seller center configuration, post-approval configuration, and catalog build, which are pretty much the steps before your TikTok shop actually gets live on the platform. And right after that, followed by the affiliate and marketing setup, pre-launch verification, and ongoing metrics and operations, which are the post-launch phases. So starting from the first phase, what are the documents and what's actually required for you to run a TikTok shop United Kingdom today? So you need to have the UK limited company registered with Companies House. You need to prepare director's photo ID matching the certificate of incorporation exactly. So the person who registered the company needs to provide this. And ideally, that person should be the owner of TikTok shop. One of the common mistakes is like having your marketing team or an agency launch the shop for you, but then you have the ownership issue. If that person or an agency ever leaves you, you lost the ownership of your TikTok shop. The next thing is certificate of incorporation, which should be a full page scan, no phone photos or anything like that. The UK business address, which is a must, obviously. UK business bank account, so TikTok shop can pay you out once you earn money on it. VAT number, if registered, then it should be really for any e-com these days. 3PL contact confirmed with TikTok Shop AP integration. Product catalog with images, descriptions, and at least 1 video per SKU. This is something that pretty much if you're coming from Shopify, WooCommerce, Amazon, wherever, you would be able to just automatically port over. But obviously, if you are launching your brand on TikTok Shop and you never had a store prior, this is something that you need to prepare. Then TikTok account for shop registration. So this means that you need to have an organic TikTok in order to be able to use your TikTok shop and actually promote it. Now the phase 2 is the seller center registration. So you need to navigate to this link here, seller-uk.tiktok.com, log in with your TikTok account, select the region, which should be United Kingdom, and this cannot be changed later, so make sure you don't make a mistake here. Select the business account type, which shouldn't be individual, unless there is any kind of like pre-incorporation. It should always be business. So make sure that like you're selecting correctly. And then you need to upload the certificate of incorporation, which should be a full page clean scan. Upload your ID photo, and then complete site selfie ID verification. They need to verify your identity. Then you're entering the business address, setting the shop name, very important, like not to mess up here, no typos, no mistakes, because it's extremely hard to change this later. Then you need to submit application and wait 1 to 3 business days. Don't get nervous if it takes slightly more than 3 business days. Usually it shouldn't, but if it does, do not refresh, start second application. After you've done that, the post-approval configuration means that you need to add tax info to seller center settings. You need to connect UK business bank account in finance section, again, so you can get paid out by TikTok. You need to set the shipping template, which would be either a flat fee or weight-based, based on how you usually handle shipping. Again, if you're an existing e-com store that was selling on a different channel, you should already know this. But if not, if you're setting up, you need to decide before you actually go live. You need to configure the warehouse address using the exact format provided by 3PL. Configure the return address. Confirm 3PL TikTok API integration is live and tested. So you need to make sure that like that connection is smooth. Then linking the TikTok organic account. Again, it must be UK region. If you're having multiple TikTok accounts, which is also a possibility, the one and only that you connect, it needs to be the official one, and it needs to be marked as official in settings, while other accounts, if you have any, can be marked as like marketing accounts. Verify product category approvals, and some categories do require additional reviews, like wellness, health and wellness, for example, category, if you're having any kind of like a weight loss brand or hair growth even, in a sense. So like anything that's tied to the health and wellness needs to be double checked. I'm mentioning health and wellness because it is the most common one, but there are other categories as well. So check if your category needs additional review or not, and make sure it's a correct category for your product. And then ideally you will apply for a brand authorization if you do own a registered trademark. This means if you do this step, which is not mandatory but is encouraged, if you do this step, no other brand on TikTok Shop will be able to ever sell knockoffs of your product, which is really important. Then you are building the catalog as a next step, so optimizing your listings, right? So ideally you won't be launching less than 5 SKUs. Why? Is because algorithm really needs that kind of catalog depth. Like without it, the optimization for campaigns, they get pretty tricky. So ideally at least 5 to 10 SKUs. And if you have more than 10, don't worry, that's totally fine. I know that like a lot of clothing brands out there, even like accessories brands will have like hundreds of SKUs, which is completely fine. Make sure it's not less than 5. Then what you're doing with product titles is very, very important. And this is a free tip in a sense that I'm providing here. Don't lead with brand in your product listings. Why? It's because what I saw with a lot of people when they connect Shopify to TikTok Shop, what they try and do is like replicate the exact setup, because on Shopify they already had success. Why should they change anything for TikTok Shop, right? Wrong. So what needs to happen on TikTok Shop is that you are making sure that all your product listings, meaning all the headlines and all the descriptions, are leading with keywords, because SEO is a very important thing on TikTok Shop. You need to make sure that your listings are findable when people are typing. And most of the people won't be searching for your brand name. They will be searching for a product, for a solution for the problem. TikTok Shop search queries are much longer than Google's right now. So make sure you have deep research into that, and you're including all those keywords in your actual listings. You need to make sure that like categories match precisely. So just go in there, search for your competitors or for like big brands in your category that you already know of, and make sure that you check on like how they categorize their products. And I would say just do the same. The main image should be the clean white background. You can have many images per one SKU and even a video, which is something that is encouraged. But the main image should be product on a white background without any kind of fluff on it. That is the best practice. Then, again, on the details and lifestyle shots, that is also something that should be included. So again, after you have the main photo being the plain white background, the following ones should be a lifestyle usage. They should be any kind of like ingredients, for example, images, if you have those, depending on product category. But like you should be going into much more detail in like following images after that hero one. Then 15 to 30 second product in video per SKU in use. Product in use videos are very, very important on TikTok Shop. TikTok is a visual platform and people are using it to consume content with their eyes primarily. So make sure that you have some kind of videos. Like even if you need to shoot them yourself and like they are not perfect, it will still be better than not having that. Now you need to configure like 4 pricing tiers. One is the list price. So that's like what will actually be the main listed price for a product, like the base price, then the retail and discounted prices, and then like the max campaign price. It's very important to know that like TikTok Shop is very heavy on the promos. So making sure that like you nail these 4 prices will be extremely important as you move further down the line. And I know that more and more brands are now coming to TikTok Shop with the idea of like, oh, we're not doing discounts. If you are not open to having at least like 6 to 9 sales peaks in a year, you shouldn't even be starting TikTok Shop. It's easy as that. The free shipping needs to be configured. I know again that like a lot of you will be saying, okay, yeah, my threshold on Shopify is £65. I will just keep it where it is because it protects my margins. By doing so, you may be hurting your store by limiting its organic potential and also just like losing the battle against all other brands on TikTok Shop. Free shipping threshold should be as low as possible so that at least 60-65% of your customers are getting the free shipping. Based on how good your 3PL deal is, I would say even go for like free shipping for all orders, or at least like depending on your AOV, orders over the minimum threshold where it actually makes financial sense. Because if you don't do that, you will be in a position where like you're getting beaten by most brands. The margin calculator built per hero product. I've seen many brands go into TikTok Shop without knowing their margins, which is an issue. Make sure that you do the calculation. And obviously, like, we do this in BDM for every client, and we have a designated calculator, which I'll be showing in one of the next videos. But if you're not hiring an agency that does this already, then make sure that you are doing it, because without knowing the margins, you will be struggling with affiliate fees, you will be struggling with GMV Max settings. It will get messy. Very important thing are these 3 metrics that decide your fate, like even the first order, like before the first order happens. You need to know this. The seller fault cancel rate, meaning like how many orders were canceled because it was your fault, like due to your fault. Late dispatch rate, like how many orders were not dispatched within 2 business days. And then like valid tracking rate, meaning like for how many orders are you updating the tracking code to match the carrier movement of the shipping. These 2 need to be like marginally low. The seller fault cancel rate and late dispatch rate, they need really to stay at 0 ideally, while the valid tracking rate needs to be at 100% pretty much. If you struggle with any of those 3, your shop score will go down and you can get, like, in a sense, shadow banned by platform. So make sure that you're really nailing this. On the affiliate marketing and setup, so there are 2 different type of collaborations with affiliates, the open plan and targeted plan. Open plan is something where you open a plan or a collaboration for your SKU. Affiliates apply to work with you, you disapprove or approve them, and the targeted plan is pretty much you reaching out to top affiliates, trying to get them to work with you. On the open plan, general rule of thumb is 20% commission at least, but again, it depends on your AOV heavily. On the targeted plan, usually you should be having the higher commission than in the open plan, because you're trying to get top affiliates. Also be mindful that you won't be getting top affiliates in the cold start phase, because you're actually limited by the platform. So you need to progress through tiers by getting more and more GMV through affiliates in order to unlock better and better affiliates. Free samples plans need to be defined. So like you need to know how many units you will send out, what will that cost you, and then to like bake that cost into the overall margin calculation. Shop ads campaigns configured. This usually needs to happen after you already have like 20, 30, 40 videos received from affiliates, because GMV Max is an AI campaign that is performing based on the amount of videos. Like quantity is really king here. Yeah, obviously quality shouldn't be forgotten, but like without like at least 30 videos, GMV Max can hardly perform at a good level and at scale. So what's very encouraged on TikTok Shop is the limited time launch offer. So whenever you just launch your TikTok Shop, you should always be having like the launch offer for new buyers to incentivize people to try products until you get like those first like 50 orders at least. The newsletter sent to existing customers. So like if you're having a customer list from Shopify, from Amazon, from anywhere, obviously from Amazon you will be getting that, but like from Shopify or WooCommerce, you should be sending out the newsletter and announcing that you're on TikTok Shop, because like that can push you through the first couple of milestones that will help you get things started and hit the ground running. The shoppable link for flow training for content team. This means practically that like every single organic video that goes out needs to be tagging a product. If you miss out on this, you're missing out on a lot of potential organic purchases. So make sure that like your content team is trained on how to link a product with every video. Obviously at BDM we do this for our clients, but if you're doing it on your own, make sure it's nailed. And now the second to last phase, phase 6, which is a pre-launch verification. By this stage, you're doing the test purchase, placed and fulfill end-to-end. So just order your product yourself. Make sure that everything is smooth and that the product arrived on time. Tracking numbers sync is verified, so your tracking rate above 95% is achieved. So make sure that like the tracking number is updated with like every phase of shipping being reached. Refund management workflow test in TikTok Shop directly. So create another test purchase and try to refund it to make sure that works as well. The customer messaging team needs to be trained on responding times. So you need to have an SOP. If you're not doing this with PDM, obviously we at PDM, like we are handling the customer support for you, but like if you're doing it on your own, you need to make sure that your customer support team is trained on like being very responsive, because that goes into your shop score, which is extremely for your success. Inventory levels confirmed at 60 plus days. Forecasted demand. Don't be one of those brands who go out of stock after TikTok Shop blows out after 15 days. Hero product margin model stress tested at max campaign price tier. So make sure, again, to really know your margins, to know what is the maximum discount for you, so you can really plan your marketing calendar. Otherwise, you will either bleed margins or you will miss out on opportunity to go more aggressive and get more sales in. Limited time offer live and visible on storefront. Again, that is connected to the step, this step here. And then once you have all that, what you need to do on a weekly level when your TikTok shop is live and getting orders is that on daily level, you need to do seller fault cancellation rate, late dispatch rate, and value track rate. So like these three numbers need to be checked daily. And if they get dangerously close to these margins here, you need to do something about it. Affiliate driven GMV versus total GMV split, just so you know how aggressive you should be on affiliates and how aggressive you should be on your GMV max and lives and organic posting. You need to understand what is the split between affiliate driven GMV and the total GMV. Top performing creators needs to be checked on weekly. So after you see who are these people, then you need to obviously try and get them even a better deal, try to get them to post more and really scale that. Conversion rate by product. Don't assume that your bestseller from Shopify will be the bestseller of TikTok Shop. It's something that can vary a lot, and it is not by default the same product. Refund and return rates, really make sure that like you're monitoring those, because if they get higher than a certain threshold, your shop score again goes down, which is not good. Free sample ROI. So after a month, you have sent 200 samples at least. And then you need to really understand, okay, what's this providing? What is the ROI? And also like make sure to measure impact of TikTok Shop on other channels like Shopify, because trust me, it will be there. Margin reconciliation across all 4 pricing tiers, making sure that you have the correct pricing strategy on TikTok Shop is extremely important. You need to give up some margins, obviously not to bleed, but also like pricing too high will mean that like you're losing to your competitors, which is something you don't want to have. So this is the full checklist. And again, by clicking to the link in the description, you will be getting this for free. And if you need a consultation from PDN, visit our website. And you also have my calendar link in the description where you can schedule a call for me to do a 30-minute free consultation call that we can do. So if you have any questions, obviously you can also go in to our website and fill out the form or write us an email. Thank you, and until next time, bye bye.